on pink lipstick because of breast cancer awareness,
Oh,
baby.
look at you! Thank you
So
so much.
I wore pink lipstick because of you, my love.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the journey. You're so inspiring. We love
Thank you,
you.
darling. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Hi, guys. Hi, everybody on live. Hi, Carrie. I saw Kimmy.
Yes, Kimmy's on. We have a whole heap of people. Can I just tell you? It's
I
been
love it.
we have literally had over 1,500 people on. Yeah, it's that turned up, okay?
Listen,
so
come on.
Feeling really, really blessed. I'm feeling just, boy, my inspiration level, it just buck, you know?
Yes. Oh.
Just excited. And I have signed copy of book for you, Miss Tim. So
okay. Thank you.
I can't wait for you to give it a read.
I'm so
But
excited.
we are here to talk about all things Rochelle, because
I'm all about it.
everybody has been sharing just these amazing stories. I think people underestimate how similar we all are as human beings in dealing with tragedy and challenge. And, you know, I'm not going to say I'm glad for COVID, but I am happy for the awareness that this storm has brought, because I feel that the level of awareness and compassion for each other has just increased tremendously, right? And I think it gives us such an opportunity to share and to actually, just like this, I don't want to spend time talking about how COVID has popped on my life. I want to spend time doing this. I want to talk about how we can overcome challenges. I want to talk about how I can find joy in the midst of the black up cloud and storm. I want to talk about how I can throw myself a life raft when I am drowning. And so, Miss Listen, I am so happy that you are here to talk the talk and to preach the things, because that is what we are all about. Okay?
Yes, yes. Oh, thank you, Alicia. Yes. So what do you want me to start with? Just start?
Well, what I want you to start with is, I want you to choose, which is what I'm kind of asking, and I cannot share that with you before you join. I want you to share a really personal story of life pop downedness. Personal pandemic.
All right. So let me start.
Yeah.
So one thing I will say is that, first of all, women, we need to be kinder to ourselves, and we need to be kinder to each other, right? And so ultimately, all of us are going to have hills and we're going to have valleys. There is nothing that you are going through that somebody in the history of this world has not gone through before. So if we all just put it out there and just really accept that fact, one, that liberates us for sure, right? So for me, I remember at 35 years old, it was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through in my life. And I'm going to interject and say this. I shared a part of it on like a post one day, and somebody said, oh, what? That's the hardest thing I've ever gone through? Lucky you. Let me tell y'all, you can never determine somebody else's pain. Everybody has different pain points, right? You cannot trivialize or diminish what anybody's going through. And when I read that comment, I was like, how dare you? Like, how dare you try to trivialize my hurt, my pain? And what ends up happening is people will like to say, well, it's not such a big deal. Well, it's a big deal to me. And so as you're telling people that it's not a big deal, then you start silencing people, which is why people do not want to talk up and tell their stories. So first and foremost, please just be kind and give people the opportunity to express themselves and to be vulnerable without you trying to one-up them on your hard luck story.
Yeah, my life harder than yours. Really though?
All right. So I just had to lay the foundation right there, child. So at 35 years old, I was in a long-term relationship. And at 35 years old, lucky for me, thank you, Jesus, that was the hardest thing I'd ever gone through, that breakup. And so I'd been with this person for 5 years, and I really thought that that's the person I was going to get married to. Like, nothing could tell me that I wasn't going to marry this man. All my actions, all my energy were lending itself to that person, to the dream, the vision of, oh, we're going to have 2 kids, and we're going to have twins, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. So to be fair, I knew a couple months prior, before the day I actually left and drove off from the house that we lived in, if I was totally honest with myself, and a lot of times we betray ourselves, we betray our intuition, we abandon that feeling deep inside that tells us that something is off. And so I knew something was off, but I just kept going because I wanted the story. I wanted it to be what I wanted it to be. That's it. Like, I was like, I'm committed to the fact that I'm going to marry this person, and that is the story. Right. And that's
it. It's the man.
Yes. So once that just blew up in my face and God said, no, girlfriend, this is not where you are going to be, baby girl. I literally sat in that pain for 2 months in that house thinking, and I just moved in with him 4 months earlier. And I remember thinking, okay, God, how did I get here? And I would wake up every single morning, guys, and literally look around the house and look on him and be like, this absolutely cannot be my life. It can't be. Like, I was like a shell of myself. Like, I was driving to work without music on. I was in the house just moping around, being quiet. I'm somebody with a lot of energy. I love to live. I'm just always bubbly. And for those 2 months, it was like I was outside of my body, watching myself just not be myself. And so I would stay there day after day, waking up, be like, no, come, what's going on? And I wasn't telling anybody what I was going through. I told my mom, I told my aunt, and I told another aunt, my 3 wise women, right? I call them the brain trust, the vault. So I was like, we're just going to sit in it. So I was just like, I don't want to be rash with my decisions. I'm 35, and then I had the pressure of, you're 35, your eggs are drying up. When are you going to have kids? Oh my God, there's a shortage of men. So I started like internalizing all these stories. And so I remember sitting there one day, and I found the paper the other day, The Universe Conspires. It was a receipt, and I wrote on the receipt, I put 5 years verse 50 years. I said 5 years of the time I've invested, all the energy that I've put in, all the whatever, the eggs I've lost, blah, 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 blah. And then on the column with 50 years, I said freedom, liberation, creating a life that is true to me, that I wake up feeling good in. And when I looked on that, and it was the back of a receipt. It was like a Walgreens receipt. I have it right there, right by my bedside table. And I remember looking on the 5 verse 50, and I said, well, this is an easy decision. It hurt, but 5 years compared to 50 years of my life, and I was 35 at that time, and I said, Rochelle, if you leave right now, you have 50 years. You could live till 85 and create the life of your absolute dreams. And I remember every day I would be in that house, and I would just vision my freedom and how I knew what I wanted to feel like again. And I just kept tapping back into that feeling, that joy, that girl who would wake up bouncing off the walls. But I had to be honest with myself. And so what ends up happening a lot of times is that we succumb to the stories that the world tells us that we should be, as opposed to what we know in our gut we should be. And I remember asking myself, looking myself in the mirror, and I was just like, what advice would you give your friend, somebody that you love, if they were in this situation?
Yes, and we don't follow our own advice. Why we don't follow our own advice? We tell friends literally, my girl, you deserve better. My girl this, my girl that, and then we would just follow the same foolishness that we're doing next day.
But which is Stacey, which is why I'm a huge advocate for journaling. Because those 2 months that I sat there journaling, I would go back every day and read exactly what I wrote, and I was just like, but this makes no sense. This is crazy. So like when I looked on it in black and white, it was just like, girl, pack up your shit and let us go. This don't make no sense, right? And I'd look in the mirror, and I remember I used to affirm myself, you're amazing, you deserve the best. This is not what God has for you, and it is better for you to be alone than in bad company. And so it was hard, but I chose me. And I said, even if I never ever got married, even if I never had a child, I did not care. I was like, I choose my peace. I choose my peace of mind. And so now, 4 years later, I look back on that season of my life and I remember being in it and I was like, God, but why? Why now? Why 5 years later? And you know what, Stacey? At one point, I literally was just like, but why not me? Why not me? Why not me to get to 35 years old and finally experience heartbreak? I've never experienced heartbreak. So how dare I think I was just going to live my whole life without no hardships, without no valley? Ego, complete ego. And so once I stepped outside of myself, I was just like, okay, you're no different from the 5 million trillion women who have had their heart broken and they have literally won with their story. And you know what? I decided I'm going to grow through what I'm going through. I said, these 5 years, I am about to be better. I am driving out from this house and I'm going to be better than I ever was. And every single day since I've left that house, my life has been better. Oh, it has. Oh, it gave me the courage.
Love that you said that. I am going to grow through.
What I go through. Yes.
What you're going through.
I decided I was going to grow. And you know what? It was hard. But I remember one day I was at happy hour and the guy who was seating me, he was the manager. And he said to me, he was talking to somebody. And I heard him say, I've never been rejected before. That's what he said. So when he was walking back, I was like, come here. I was like, I overheard you said to that girl that you have never been rejected before. And I was like, I want to tell you, I said, rejection sometimes is the best thing that could happen to you. And he was like, he said to me, really? Because he's very good looking, just beautiful black man. He said, really? I was like, actually, I said, what if I tell you that rejection caused me to birth my purpose, to write a best-selling book, to be traveling around the world motivating people? And he was just like, wow. And I was like, listen, I said, sometimes we are so caught up on the story that we want that we limit the magic that the universe wants to give us, which is what happened to me.
And the purpose that you're meant to serve for so many other people.
We limit it. Yes. And had I sat there, there would be no one happy thought. There would be no Rochelle living her purpose. So, you know, a lot of times we are so caught up on what we want and we focus on the closed door that we don't even see all the thousands of other doors that are open to us. Because listen, your thoughts become things. What it's like, so the reticular activating system, whatever you start thinking about, you start seeing. It's just like, oh, one day you decide I want to buy a Toyota Corolla. All of a sudden you start seeing Toyota Corollas, right? Yes. So the thing is, once I was just like, okay, Ro, let's focus on this disappointment and this rejection as possibility. What can you become for having gone through this? And then it's like the world just opened up to me. But then the next thing that happened is, because I had the courage to leave and I never did, it gave me the freedom to start to bear risk. Because before I wasn't taking any risk. I was just like, well, I always win. I always win. I always win. So I only want to try the things that I knew I could win at. You get it? It was almost like I wouldn't try anything really outside the box because I wanted to just keep winning at the things I could win at. Until failure made me brave. I start just turn up the thing. I never have no fear after that. I never had no fear after that. I was like, well, I move out and I never did. I took a bet on me.
When I saw you on the lineup with Steve Harvey, and I'm a huge Steve Harvey fan.
Jesus?
As a matter of fact, Steve Harvey ordered a book because when I was recovering from one of my many surgeries, I used to lay in the bed because that's all I could do for 6 weeks. And I used to watch Steve Harvey's show every day, right? And so when me say Rochelle upon the show, I say, wait, my Rochelle, hold on. The Rochelle, I mean, what I understand? I was like, no, go on. I was like, I had your ass not gotten up and gone through, you wouldn't have made it to the stage alongside persons who have been doing that for decades. So yes,
Exactly.
let's step into the discomfort. Let's step through the pain towards the purpose that we're supposed to be serving.
Because you
Right?
don't know what's on the other side of pain, because you just don't. And so in order to live a life beyond any dream that you have for yourself, you have to have courage, you have to be
Yeah.
brave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times our minds are so limited. It's just like we are thinking, oh, this little lane. Listen, there are opportunities all over the world, which is why I
Everywhere.
am always like, guys, have an abundance mindset. You just have the limited vision that you have, your friends, your family. I remember when I published my book, I was like, all right, well, my mom going to buy the book, Adrienne going to buy the book, Carrie going to buy the book. All
Yes.
right, and today they're going to buy the book. Listen, up until this day, I will go on my Amazon thing, people buying the book in Germany, people
Yes, from
all over
all.
the world,
No, no,
because
yeah.
your gift will make room for you, and there's somebody who needs to hear your story.
Yes.
I will tell people all of my business, because if I could liberate another woman from a relationship that's not serving her, from a
Yes.
place of mediocrity and settling, I will tell her my story, because I don't believe that God made me go through my story to just keep it for myself, right? I literally will share, because I want people to really step into the fullness of what life is supposed to be. We are
Yes.
supposed to live a life more abundant. We're
Oh,
supposed to be happy. We're supposed to feel good about ourselves when we wake up in the morning.
absolutely.
We should not let people steal our joy. And so I always say, if there's somebody who has that thing or has gone through that thing, so can I, and so can you. You're no different from anybody else.
That's
You're not
right.
this, you know what I
We're
mean? We have the
so
brain
similar.
capacity.
We are all the same. That is why I was just saying that I am really loving the awareness that this pandemic has created, because
Yes,
everybody in the same situation, right? It brings us to the point of realizing that we are all the same. Yes, we're going through our own different things, but
yes,
ultimately we're all going through, right? We're all coming through to the other side to be whatever it is we have been placed here to be. And I just love that.
exactly.
I think COVID level the damn playing field. Nobody have no excuses now.
Exactly. But you know what it is, those things, just to be totally like, I just wish people would just be honest with themselves. Just be honest with yourself, because until you are honest with yourself and really be clear about what it is you're going through, about your true feelings, you will never be able to change your life. You'll be living a facade, you'll be living a life that is not true to you. And so you have to determine, okay, am I happy? And that's a question I ask my friends all the time. And they think it's so random, but I'm like, but are you happy? And think about that and really be honest, because what happiness looks like to me is not what it looks like to stay more. All of us have a different definition of that. But what happens is, as we live and as we start going along, we start succumbing to what people tell us. You should be this thing. You should go to university and do that. You're not enough if you're not a lawyer, a doctor. Who told you that? We need to dispel all these stories that people have projected on us and start living a life that you feel good about. And when I mean good about, when you put your head on the pillow at night, you should have peace. You should have peace. And so I wake up in this house
Yes.
and I have peace of mind and I cling to it. Now I date with purpose. And so every single thing that has gotten better about me has stemmed from that disappointment, because I realized that
Yes.
I was, one, distracted in my life, why I wasn't paying attention to the signs. So the signs were there, but I was distracted. And so I don't blame him. He's a good person. And I am so grateful for him, because had it not been for him, I wouldn't be
Yes.
where I am today, right? There's no bitterness, there's no upsetness. But I
Absolutely.
also believe that the universe will bring the lessons to you when you're ready to
Yes.
receive it. But you have
Yes.
to get still and you have to be quiet in your own life. I was busy. I was all over the place, going here and there, whatever. You could try to blame your misfortune or shortcomings on people. No, you have to take, I don't care if you take 3% of the responsibility, it is your life. You are responsible for your life. You're responsible for your happiness. Nobody else can create your life for you. You have to wake up every day and commit to designing the life that feels good to you. And so until I got honest with myself, got still, cleared out the clutter, I was like a chicken with my head running, cutting up, running off the place, just running all over the place, busy.
Yes.
And so, which is what I love about COVID, is that all of y'all, including me, we don't have all the distractions anymore. So guess what? We do have to sit our ass at home and start being honest.
Distractions be gone, right?
Listen, yes, distractions be gone. So now you have to be very, very intentional. And if there's one thing I'd say today to anybody, is that you have to be so intentional and you have to ask yourself the right questions, challenge yourself, dig deeper. I started, you know what worked for me? I started asking myself 7 levels of why. Okay, so I was breaking up with the guy.
Heaven, not
7.
7.
No,
right.
7. So it would go like this. It would go like this. So you want to get married, but why do you want to get married? Oh, because I want to have children and I want companionship. But why do you want to have children? And why do you want companionship? Oh, because I just feel like if I had my dream guy, we could accomplish these things together. Okay, but what things? Why do you want to accomplish those things? And so you keep digging deeper, 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 and then you start realizing half of the stories you tell yourself are not really true. Because if indeed I want to just have children and companionship, I have my friends and I could go and have a baby by myself. So what is it? What is the real
What is
reason?
it really? What's the intention?
Get to the why, the real why. So you know what, Stacey? And I've not said this publicly to anybody. My friends know this. I was supposed to be freezing my eggs these 2 weeks. I'm supposed to be freezing my eggs right now. Because of COVID, I was not able to go to freeze my eggs. But you know why I decided to freeze my eggs? Because I wanted to empower myself. I'm actually going to write a book about this. But I want to empower myself because I don't want any of my decisions to be on, oh, because I'll get to a certain age, I just have to rush and have a baby with anybody. No, I want to have a baby with the man of my dreams, with the love of my life. But barring that, I've decided to also create opportunities for myself. Yes. And so if you really are honest with yourself, there are many ways to get what you want. Yeah, but you just have to get creative and you have to open your mind.
Just opens you up so much wider to the possibilities, right? To the possibilities. And let me tell you something. Why I know say me and you connect on this now is because it's bare pop down man I was dating until me open my mind to the possibility of being by myself. And the possibility that I don't have to be on a plane somewhere else and meet the guy because the guy don't live here. And the possibility that I could find a good black man because there are good black men. And the possibility that I could find a good black man on this island that is from this island because that exists. I just open up my mind beyond all of the stories and the blocks and the different things that where people tell, you know, the conversations where some people talk and you just kind of join up in the talk with them.
No.
Yeah, man, no good men are out there.
I don't play that.
Jamaican man no good. This, that, and the other no good. Well, let me tell you something. It's not
God showed out.
Friends we find well good turn up Jamaican. Like, I mean, my testimony is so real. It need a book. So write your book about the freezing egg. Me I go write my book about my man and how me find him and all these things. Right?
Babe, absolutely. And I always say, when you're in the creating process, you need good energy around you. I don't play that. I only have good energy around me. So once I left that relationship, I've been single now almost 4 years. And these 4 years have been so refreshing because I was a serial monogamist. I went from a 4-year relationship to a 2-year to a 5-year. So these 4 years where I've just been focusing on myself, I have just, the return on investment has been incredible. And so of course I want a partner. Of course I want to fall in love. And I believe all of those things are going to happen. But at the end of the day, if they don't, I still am enough. My life is enough. My happiness is enough. My joy is enough.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
So initially, I was just going to be giving away a copy of my book. But it's so wild because as I was talking to you and saying this, I have to give away a copy of the journal. So I'm going to give a copy of the book and the journal. Journaling is so important. It's good to see your thoughts in your handwriting. it's even more beautiful to see how far you have come. When I look back
Oh,
on my journals from August 2016, when I was
girl.
literally pleading every day, like, oh my God, God, what should I do next? How am I going to get through? And then I see how I grew and I took the chance on myself 4 years later. And I read that. I'm just like, whoa, babe, if you could get through that, you could get through anything. Because I really thought that was the end of the world. And it clearly wasn't the end of the world. I
No, it's
thrived and I
not the end.
flourished because of it. So if,
Yes. And what,
if
you
there's
know what happened,
anything I
Rochelle?
would
Let me
say
tell you
is
one
that,
thing is that, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, if there's anything I could say is that every cloud truly does have a silver lining. If you look for the
Yes.
lessons and if you start focusing on what is this here to teach me, as opposed to why me, and you empower
Why
yourself with
me?
that question, what is this here to teach me?
Yes.
You'll be surprised how incredible
Yes.
your transformation will be.
Yes, absolutely. And so guys, I'm just gonna share that Rochelle has gifted us two amazing things. Thank you. The
You're
book
welcome.
that she's talking about, you know, and let me tell you something, you know, from I meet Rochelle till now is just beer, happy, happy, joy, joy. And you know what? As a matter of fact, Rochelle, let me just stick a pin right there and share something personal with people
Yes.
because for the most part, you know, guys, I have been doing this online influencer thing long time, you know, but not as me. I've been behind the scenes supporting a lot of the people that you actually follow, right? Behind the scenes doing my thing. And a lot of it was because of fear. I was behind the scenes because I thought, you know, well, I'm comfortable here. I like to serve, etc., etc. But then what was happening is that I was on this journey of healing and you know, so many things had happened in my life and I was being reached out to because I wrote the book. People were reaching out to me and I was like, okay, maybe I need to start talking about this. And when I spent that first time I spent real time with you, we were actually at a conference together. And
On the
Rochelle,
carpet.
yes, yes. And we did lay down on the carpet and we had chats. And Rochelle said to me, but Stacey, you know, I've seen you online and me never know none of this was going on in your life. Why don't you share your story? She said, you have such a powerful story. You could be helping so much people. I never know none of this. And you're wasting your time not sharing your story. People, let me tell you something. Surround yourself with people who can pour into you, with people who can pull the greatness out of you, with people who can see the light that is shining inside of you and encourage you to make it
Agreed.
shine for yourself. If you surround yourself with people who are going to tell you, say, you know, boy, yes, it's true, it's hard out here. You can't do this or you can't do that. You can't find a man. Man hard to find. Oh, yes, hard to have baby. My picnic never kill me. Nobody have no picnic. Oh, you want a new job? Yeah, man, never go back to school. Nobody even try to apply for that yet. If you surround yourself with those people, like if I did that, there would be no this. I would be on
Exactly.
here with 11 amazing women that you all admire. We wouldn't be having this experience. We wouldn't be sitting here encouraging each other and getting
Agreed.
words of inspiration and overcoming and survival and wellness. That would not be happening if it wasn't for Rochelle in my life. So look at the people that you are surrounding yourself with and make sure say them as people that can lift you up out of your foolishness, because we are all
Yes.
going to get into it at some point in time if we're honest with ourselves. So let me
But
come out from a preaching soapbox.
no, which is what you said. It's true. And I said it when we started. When you tell your truth, you liberate
Yeah.
other women to do the same. When you
Yeah.
tell your truth, you liberate other women, other people to do the same. A lot of people are living in fear, and sometimes they just want the permission. They just want somebody to speak some goodness in their life and say,
Yes,
you can do it. You are able. You are
absolutely.
powerful. You're smart. You're brilliant. A lot of people don't have people affirming them. So that's why sometimes
No,
you do have to take the time and affirm people. And
from
all of us
yourself.
need affirmation.
Yes.
It's good to do it for
Mhm.
yourself, but when somebody has a vote of confidence in you and your abilities and your goodness, it takes your life to the next level. So if you are around people who are
Yes.
energy stealers, emotional drainers. You need to get rid of them and start swapping them out for some people who uplift you. We are the sum, the sum total of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So listen,
Yes.
iron sharpens iron. Who is sharpening you?
Yes. Okay. Well, I saw my moderator just tell me about the time, so we can move on to Terry Carell, who's going to be doing more sharpening. Yay. Thank you, Rochelle.
Thank you guys for having me. I love you all.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. I love you, love you, love you, love you. Talk soon. Take care. Enough joy. Enough joy.
All right, my darlings. Bye, guys. Have a good night. Drink some wine. Bye.